Hey everyone, Cara Castronova in front of the White House for DC Live, where President Trump and a number of members of the cabinet, along with Jeanine Pirro, the new attorney for Washington, DC, talked to the reporters in the briefing room today. So that was a really special treat. President Trump in the briefing room talking about federalizing Washington, DC and taking over the DC Metro Police, which is a huge move. Obviously, as most people watching know, crime has skyrocketed in DC. Violent crime, the murder rate is similar to that of a third world country, according to the Trump administration. So we're going to talk to some people outside. There was a protest earlier. I see some stragglers over there, and ask them if they are for federalizing DC or if they want Muriel Bowser, the failing mayor, to stay in power if she's doing a good job, if President Trump and his administration can do a better job in keeping people in Washington, D.C. safe. Let's go over here. Hey, I like your sign. Is this about Joe Biden?
I wouldn't like to be on the camera, please.
Is the fascist dictator tyrant, who is that, Obama?
I wouldn't like to be on camera, please.
But you're standing in front of the White House.
I wouldn't like to be on camera, please.
You're standing here with the sign. Tell me why I'm assuming this is President Trump then? Why do you think he's a fascist? Well, are you staring me down? I'm just asking you a question. You don't believe in getting... Oh, I see your eyes. They're kind of scary. I'm intimidated a little bit.
See that cross. Thanks.
Are you offended by the cross?
No.
Then what does that mean? Is that you're a Christian? Are you a Christian? Nice breeze. We're getting nice rain. It feels so good right now. Are you offended by my cross and the cross on my You're offended by the cross. So there's demonic spirits roaming inside you, unfortunately. I feel bad for you. I will pray for you. And the fascist dictator tyrant, more than likely that would have been Kamala Harris. So she's not in the White House. That's the good news. It's President Trump. But good luck with your protest of one.
Odd thing to say out loud.
What an odd thing to say out loud. Hi, guys. How are you? Would you like to be interviewed about how you feel about everything going on in the country right now? How do you feel? What's going on? Is President Trump doing a good job?
I think not.
Well, tell me why.
I think he does a lot of stuff that he doesn't need to do.
Like what?
He trying to get us in trouble right now, like,
You, not you. Why you?
because I'm in America.
So am I. But I don't think he's trying to get me in trouble.
You don't think so?
No, I think that President Trump is fighting for the everyday Americans like me, like you, for our rights. Obviously, he's trying to prevent immigration from taking away stuff that we, the American people, really need right now, like health care.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Facts.
Did you vote in the last election?
Yeah.
Who? Don't tell me it was for. You voted for him. You were running for president.
Yeah.
What do you think? Do you think that in the very least?
I just believe I should be president because I'll help the whole world out. Like, I feel like a lot of people will have freedom. You heard? I don't know. Like,
Do you live in D.C.?
nah,
This world would be terrible with him.
DC sweet right now. So
Where do you live? Are you guys from Virginia?
I'm from the Bronx.
Oh, I live in New York. So guess what? I was very, very well known for coming to the Bronx and talking to a lot of people on the street there, and they all were telling me they were voting for President Trump during the last election. They were saying that Kamala was a fraud. She's, wasn't.
Get a lot of mixed signals from people. Like one minute they on Kamala, then the next minute they with Trump. Like I don't know.
who to pick.
Yeah, they don't know.
Would you be open to President Trump? Let's just say President Trump wanted to meet with you guys and find out what your concerns were in the Bronx, New York. Would you be saying cool?
That's so I can tell him what to fix and what to leave alone. Because certain things he don't need to.
What needs to be fixed?
We need more food stamps.
Facts.
Yes.
Yeah.
The thing is,
$1,000 in food stamps ASAP pronto.
one of the things that they were doing with the illegals is that's how much they were giving them. 3,000, the illegals. So that's what I'm saying. So he's
How
trying.
you feel about the immigrants?
I feel that the resources should be going to other people that are citizens, not to illegals. That's how I feel. I don't know about you guys.
Section 8 or something. Need more.
But if they
affordable crib.
if they stop the border and they send people back to where they're from, and then they could come in legally, those resources could go to Americans like those in the Bronx, like those in New York, like those here in DC.
Yeah.
So at least we're on the same page with that.
ICE, get them.
Okay. So we're on the same page with that. And hopefully, guys, keep an open mind and an open heart. And thank you guys for being open-minded to talk to me today. And God bless you from the Bronx. I live 20 minutes from there.
Oh, really? What part of the Bronx?
I live on the borderline of Queens, so I could drive to the. But I'm here in DC now. So like I call myself, I'm stationed here in DC, reporting on the White House. But I am originally from Queens.
Married?
I am married-ish. I'm married to Jesus. Married to Jesus. All right. Bye, guys. Have fun in the Bronx and your trip. So, open-minded individuals, obviously, unlike the crazy standing in front of the White House with her fascism son who was offended by my cross, these bizarre people. Let's go. There was another protester. I actually think this woman's hysterical. She's a Free Luigi protester. Generally, she has a shirt on that says Cougars for Luigi, Mangione, that would be. So she's amusing. I don't know if she. Hi, how are you? Oh, there's Corinne. Yes. And I'll come say hi to you when you're done talking to my friend Corinne, who's great. Yes, I always talk. He's great. This man is a wonderful man. We're gonna.
Oh yeah, no, interview Filipos. I gotta watch that.
So she likes me. She likes me. Criminals out of DC. Now she's saying that she wants the Epstein files released. We want to talk to her, but seemingly she's in high demand. If you could get a shot of. Oh, sorry. The way you had it. I really want to talk to her, but people are taking pictures of her, so we could wait, and then we could talk to this nice man right here. Criminals out of DC starts with the Epstein files. I'm not saying I disagree. I can't say I disagree. You look so pretty today. You look gorgeous.
Freedom is when somebody says I'm not interested. Freedom means.
Come on, you remember
I
me.
remember you. And
Cougars for
I'm not
Luigi.
in the mood.
Why?
I'm not in the mood. I'm really not in the mood.
All right, she's not in the mood. I will respect you because you look so pretty today. So it sucks that we can't talk to her because has a bunch of very odd, like her sign actually makes sense. I'm not gonna lie. Like the decriminalization of DC does start with releasing the Epstein files. That is true, but she has some other really kooky beliefs. For example, during everything with Elon Musk and during Doge, she was one of the main protesters protesting Doge, which I thought they were doing great work. I'm not asking her that. She let.
Go get Filipos. Filipos is the #1 protester in the world. Go get.
Am I interrupting your interview? Who's Filipos? Who?
I say he's the leader of Antifa. Go get
The guy with the gray beard?
the leader.
He's a peaceful protester. So, okay, I'm getting intel from Corinne Clifford that this is a dangerous man. I don't think that is a dangerous man. I think he's a very peaceful man. He's been nothing but nice to me every time I speak to him. He's very sweet. This is the leader of like, he's the sweetest hippie. I mean, he's an anti-war guy. Like the BLM stuff, I don't really agree with. Like, let's look at his signs. He's against wars for the most part, I guess. I mean, again, I'm not on point with everything he says, but he's so sweet. I think you're very nice.
Well, I mean, the thing is, I believe in the right to freedom of speech and expression, and I believe that is obviously our First Amendment to the Constitution. It also says the last two lines to petition the government for a redress of grievances. So therefore, something that says that is a vigil.
Do you
There's a
live?
difference.
Do you live here, by the way?
Nobody lives
Okay,
there.
okay.
Nobody lives
I
there.
just wanted to make sure.
Everybody that helps and volunteers at the vigil has an ID that of Maryland, Virginia, or DC ID, but also they wouldn't be homeless if they have proof that they've rented an Airbnb in this area or a hotel in this area for that time.
Two questions. That girl over there told me you're the lead of Antifa. I told her I don't believe you. I'm not trying to set you up for the question, but why is she saying that?
Because she's a liar, and that's who we call Corinne, and her name is actually no, her name is
I know her.
And yeah, and she will say that she's the leader of Antifa sometimes, and she will say anybody that is left of center is the leader of Antifa, and that's her storyline.
I don't think I think you're very peaceful and sweet. No, for me and you, I always.
Ever taken a dagger at you?
Oh, you're very sweet. I think you're adorable. But what about
What's this? For the camera, what's this? Put your hand in my hand. You see, if we can trust each other to do that, even if we think differently, come on.
I'm bringing you one day. I'm going to bring you a
Yeah,
I tell you that I have to get my pillow.
sorry, sister. I've heard that rigmarole. I'll see
He,
it when
he,
it
he
comes.
really wants a my pillow, and it will make your day.
I wanna
Okay,
see how good
I
it is.
might just have to bring you one of mine. It's not opened yet. But in the meantime, President Trump today had a briefing in the briefing room. I don't know if you got to see that about,
No,
and it,
no, it
you know,
wasn't
this should be interesting to you because he's federalizing DC. They want to take power away from Muriel Bowser. They're saying there's a homeless problem, there's a crime problem. The city is kind of getting destroyed and taking over the Metro PD from Muriel Bowser. What are your thoughts?
I heard that. I mean, I heard that because as I was in motion, had the radio on, so I heard that. Well, crime's down since 2023. Doesn't mean that it's anywhere near prime level, but it's down, and it was down slightly in 2024 from 23. And it's down even more in 25. I mean, I think
What
that
about homelessness?
homelessness. Well, the homelessness in D.C. is because there are states throughout the United States of America have no homeless provisions in their states. That's why, like, the same thing would be either for D.C. or Los Angeles. The homeless in Los Angeles has been the surveys done that only 11.8% of all the homeless in Los Angeles graduated from or attended Southern California high school, which means the other states are the ones that are miserably failing in any kind of provisions. But yes, when we come back to DC,
Do you think that somebody else besides Muriel Bowser, it doesn't seem like she's done a good job with the homelessness, and the murder rate is still very high compared to even third world countries. Do you think that Congress should take over? Well, they think, do you know that Congress, though, is supposed to actually run DC and not a mayor? That was only in the past, I think, 30 years. Do you think Congress should take back control of DC or just stay with Muriel Bowser?
well, I'll,
Or maybe elect a new mayor?
um, I've I've had my issues with Mayor Bowser myself. I mean, but on that one, I would leave it up to the people of DC, not only one person. And then, but compared to third world countries, how many third world countries have you been to? Because I've been in 91. Wait, I've been in 91 total countries on this planet.
I've only been to like 2.
I mean, why not? 2 is more than most. Most people in the United States say, "Hey, I'm going on vacation." Where do they go? Colorado Springs. I'm going on vacation. They go up to New York. I'm going on vacation. They do a
Well,
spend.
Dominican Republic is considered a third world country, I believe. So is the Philippines.
No, it's not.
It's
No,
not?
no. Dominican Republic is.
How about Turkey, the side? No, Cyprus, the Turkish side. That might be a third world country. Yeah.
You've seen a little heat.
But I want to come back to you another day with my pillow, and thank you for. I don't believe you're the leader of Antifa. It's ridiculous. Corinne is right about a lot of things, but not always. And I'm gonna bring you a my pillow. I am going to give you one. I'm gonna give you one of mine that I haven't opened.
Okay.
All right, I'll see you
You know
soon.
me and you're cool.
I know you're cool. I like you.
That's right.
Thank you.
But anyone that says I'm leaving Antifa, tell them to get off the PCP.
I know you're a peace for peace. Thank you so much. Thank you. So she's talking to other people. I feel jealous. She's so interesting. I love hearing her about how she has a crush on Luigi Mangione and she wants to jump his bones. A lot of old people feel that way. A lot of women feel that way. It's kind of scary. I'm not saying I feel that way, even though he is kind of good looking. I'm not gonna lie. Hey, how are you?
you down there. I was
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Cool.
Are you here from Aspen?
No, I'm not. I'm here from DC.
Okay.
I'm a DC resident.
So what do you think about President Trump federalizing DC?
I'm not the biggest fan of it. I'm going to be honest. I know you guys are Trump supporters, but yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of it. I don't think crime is rocketing. I think it's actually down 30%. I do think we have a crime problem. I mean, who loves crime? I mean, I've been a victim of crime in DC and it's been difficult. I was mugged and
Where were you mugged?
I was mugged in my neighborhood.
What did they take? I was mugged too, but that was in New York. It's terrible.
It's just difficult. But we do have a crime problem, but I don't think the federalization is the best way to go.
Do you think federalizing could help with the homeless problem? Maybe they could come up with a better solution because there really is. It's very heartbreaking for me to.
homeless problem?
Yeah, it's like I just feel like they have to have better resources for the homeless here. I mean, you can't even walk down 2 streets, and it's heartbreaking. So I feel.
Homeless people, but I do think there's cities that suffer from it far worse, and we do have some all right social programs, and I think compared to other cities, DC is doing what it can.
Yeah.
And I do support it. Yeah.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much for talking to us today. You too. And we're here with this a piece.
How you were attacked by the federal prosecutor in front
Yeah,
of
what
the
happened?
Well, I was. Oh, one sec. I was shoved by a U.S. Marshal who chucked me.
Shocked you? What do
Yeah,
you mean,
he like
threw you?
basically he had a big backpack on. I was covering a court hearing for January 6th, and he went like he bumped me on purpose. I literally went flying. He assaulted me because I was trying to ask him a question, which you're not allowed to. Federal like marshals, court marshals can't attack journalists if they don't like their question.
Interesting.
So this is what happened to me. So yes, there are thugs in the federal government. I would like that guy to be fired and relieved of his position, but unfortunately, I filed a police report against him, a victim's report, and they wouldn't give me his name
Interesting.
just because he was a marshal.
and they wouldn't even
Yeah,
test
I was assaulted by a marshal of the United States. It's it's all over social media. The charges were never, they dropped charges basically,
And you can't
which is
pursue
sick.
charges anymore?
Maybe I can. I don't know if the statute of limitations is up. I'm going to look into it. It's just a lot of stuff to do. I would like to. I think he should be fired. Yeah, it was dropped, but maybe if I push and I get an attorney, then
for you.
But that was, thank you so much. Yeah. That was when I was covering, no, that was when I was covering the J6 cases and attacked by a brutal marshal who should be in jail. Hi, and this is the most peaceful person in DC. And you're here and we're underneath your nice tent and his sign says, stop hating each other because you disagree. Do you feel like things are getting better? Are people hating each other less?
It is turning around. It's people are becoming a little bit more conscious. We into the age of Aquarius now, so
I'm an Aquarius.
yeah. So it's a little different, a little different.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm dying to hear your opinion on Trump federalizing, or taking over the Metropolitan Police, or attempting
Man,
to.
that's just PR. That's just a PR move. Okay. By the end of this month, things will be back to normal.
Right.
Okay. That's just it. We've been here before.
Do you live in the city of DC?
Yeah, I've been here 50 years.
See, I'm from New York, so when people say crime, I'm like, I try coming to New York subway because the New York subway is a scary place.
Right.
What are your thoughts on here and being in DC? Could they do better when it comes to crime? Could they do better with the homeless? What do you think people need to do?
Yes, they could do better, but if you notice the crime that they're talking about, basically is happening to white people. See, in DC, we don't get nothing done until it starts happening to white people. Then they will start doing something. But mark my word, by the end of this month, they will be it'll be back to normal. Everything will be quieted down and it'll be another issue.
Well, I'll come back in a month and we'll see if you're right. I think you have some good instincts. So we'll see. We'll see.
It's going to be a month. It'll be back to normal. Everything, they'll be forgot about it. It'll be something else that they dealing with.
Where's your accent originally from?
I'm from Alabama originally.
Yeah, I like it. I love it. It's so
Yeah.
relaxing and soothing.
Thank you.
So God bless you. And if people go to the Truth Conductor and
They ain't gonna
Truth
send me no
Conductor, we'll see. We're gonna try. One time they did. Guys, this is the nicest guy ever. This is his Venmo. Is that Venmo?
Wait a minute.
I think he sits out here and he plays the Star Spangled Banner. He plays music
from
to,
all over the
right,
world.
to try to unite people. He doesn't believe in being divisive. He has a great, wonderful message. A lot of peaceful protesters, in front of the White House, I got to say, and I support, you're not a protester, he is, but he's peaceful.
Right.
And that's the First Amendment right. So it's pretty cool coming out here and getting to talk to you guys. So thank you for being out here and spreading the love and the positivity.
Thank you.
So much. Okay. So, we're going to head back inside shortly. You know what's so interesting about Trump taking over the DC Metro Police is there's a alleged killer on that police squad. Her name is Lila Morris. She killed Roseanne Boylan allegedly by beating her with a stick during January 6th. Still hasn't been accounted for, unfortunately. Hi, are you a protester against Trump? I see your signs. Do you want to tell me why you're here today?
Not really.
Evangelical hypocrites.
Yeah.
Why do you think evangelicals are hypocrites?
Because they're not following the word of Christ.
Are you Christian?
No.
Oh, darn. I thought you might be because then you could. I am. You could say Christian. Okay. So you're here today to protest maybe Trump's order that he's federalizing DC?
No.
Or you're just protesting in general? It's a beautiful day. First Amendment's important.
Indeed it is.
I agree. All right. Well, thank you. Well, tell me what your main beef with Trump is. Your main beef.
My beef isn't with Trump.
Oh, your beef is with the United States government.
No, my beef is with the Republican Party and and the evangelicals.
Okay, so
And
who specifically?
really-
Who specifically? There are some hypocrites. I'm not going to lie. Who specifically in the Republican Party?
tell me.
Lindsey Graham, warmongers.
Keep going. There's no short.
I think Lindsey Graham, and a couple others off the top of my head, but I just don't like the whole neocon faction of the Republican Party.
If you take the hypocrites and you take the fascists or the wannabe fascists and you take the people that are cowards, you've pretty much, that's got the whole Republican senatorial caucus. There might be one or two people that don't fit in there, but
There's a couple good ones. I feel like Marjorie Taylor Greene's pretty good,
she's not
and
in the Senate.
right. I feel like Trump is attempting.
Let's go back to Marjorie. I think I've always thought she was crazy as a March hare, but what you can say about her is at least she's sincere. The problem is all these people that are being paid. You might be among them, okay?
I'm being paid to be a journalist, but not to be a
You're being paid to be a journalist for,
Mike Lindell.
right?
Do you know who he is?
Yeah, I know the pill guy.
Yes, but the pills are great. You might not agree with him politically.
So you're being paid, okay? You're making your nut, as they would say on South Park, okay? Maybe you believe this stuff, maybe you don't, okay? I don't know.
Well, I like Marjorie Taylor Greene. I respect her. There are some others I respect. I respect President Trump. He might change the Republican Party. It might take some time, but if he could push out the neocons like Lindsey Graham, how great would that be?
Trump is a criminal, okay?
Is a what?
He's a criminal. He's a criminal.
But wouldn't you rather have a criminal rather than somebody that is, or an alleged criminal than these crazy neocon warmongers?
Yeah. You don't really sound like a journalist, I have to tell you.
Well, I'm a commentator as well.
Right, right. And the problem with being recorded like this is because you can go back and you can edit.
This is live. This is live. This is live.
What's it live on?
LindellTV.com. You should check it out. You could actually, if you go on your phone right now and everybody else save Lindell TV, you could just rewind 3 minutes and you'll see this. So it's live. I have nothing to hide. I'm a commentator. I could give my opinion. Someone in my capacity as a reporter, I don't. But when I do shows like this and when we just talk to people.
Well, he's got you've got the cross here on your thing, right? So if you go to the Bible, what kind of messages are hammered home in the Bible? Can you think
Love your neighbor.
Yeah. How about not abusing strangers? That shows up about 37 times, okay, in the Old Testament. That's very fundamental. Trump, that's his whole shtick. That's his whole game, okay, is he's created the other and he's demonized them.
What about an eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth?
You can find
We can find anything.
you can
Could we
find
agree that Democrats and Republicans are the wings of the same party generally? Do we agree that the uniparty is evil? There is a uniparty.
They're radically different. Okay, the Republican Party, the Democratic Party is hapless, okay, and hopeless. The Republican Party is ruthless and merciless. That's the difference.
See it the other way around, but I get where you're coming from.
I'm happy to hear somebody defend it. That's why I'm out. I'd like to have conversations with people without a mic in my face, though.
I'm telling you, this is live and it's not going to be edited, and you could go check it out.
All you people that are watching Lindell TV, okay, are they seeing my message? I'd like them to see my message. Okay, that's fair enough. Let's get the other side too.
We always get that. We interview
The other side over here too.
Okay.
Let's get
Here.
line up on Lindell.
We interview protesters all the time. We like to hear different opinions and ask you to be open-minded to maybe Christianity, because you said you're not a Christian. If you could be,
I'm open-minded to Christianity. I'm just not open-minded to Christian hypocrites.
be open-minded to Christianity, to becoming a Christian.
I'm open-minded to. I have no problem. I'm not going to try and change anybody's mind about their religious beliefs. But if you're going to be a hypocrite, okay, and you're going to support these guys and the things that they're doing, tearing families apart and lying through their teeth and bankrupting the country, I'm sorry.
Well, thank you for sharing your opinion. Okay. See, I'm happy to hear it. And I'm open. Right. I come from a family of Democrats, but you're not a Democrat, I don't think. I think you're just against the government.
I'm a former Republican, but I can't conceive the Republican Party's changed so much. I can't conceive I'll ever be able to vote for one in my lifetime. It's sad. We need another party, but
see what happens. Yeah. Elon Musk might start one. Thank you so much for talking today and sharing your opinion. Go on LindellTV.com right now on your phone and just zip back. It's live.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you. And don't forget, Jesus saves. Maybe that'll have some sort of effect on his, talking to all these people. We have a few minutes before we're going to go back inside the White House. I'm just going to walk and talk. So we're going to go back inside the White House. There was a protest out here that we were hoping to catch against Trump. I mean, honestly, if you come out with a microphone outside the White House, you're going to get two things. Tourists generally who are visiting because they support Trump, or protesters on days like today that are against Trump. And I got to tell you, there's generally only a few. Today there was like 6, maybe, right? 6 protesters. Most of them don't even want to make noise. They don't have a lot of backup with them. They're just holding signs. It's not like the first administration where there was literally hundreds or whatever of violent protesters. That doesn't really happen anymore. I think that more people are actually supportive of the president. But there are some protesters, and I'd say they're generally a Caucasian of an older age bracket, like that guy. It is what it is. It's not like the young Antifa types. I know you guys hear that a lot. Obviously, those people lurk around, and I do believe that Antifa are federal agents, part of the CIA possibly. So you could be sure they're on, hold for the next gigantic, upset that they need to pull off. So Antifa, I actually filed a Freedom of Information Act request on this. I haven't gotten a real response yet, which is very annoying, regarding the ties of Antifa to the CIA and to the intelligence agencies. I believe that they 100% are part of the intelligence agencies, and they were paid to protest and obviously do all of these things. Outside of the White House, it's generally peaceful. Obviously, a couple of people here are against what the president is doing, but the majority of the tourists and the majority of the people you will talk to are very supportive of this president. I will see you back inside in about 5 to 10 minutes, right here on DC Live. I'll see you in the White House.
Let's face it, you can't trust Big Pharma. They've already tried to block ivermectin, hydroxychloroquine, and raise prices on everything from antibiotics to your daily meds. Well, there's good news. All Family Pharmacy is standing up for medical freedom and helping people get the treatments they actually want. My family and I use them all the time. They made it easy and affordable without the runaround. While other pharmacies are jacking up prices, they've actually dropped theirs. Ivermectin now starts at just $2 a capsule. Use my promo code Lindell10, you get an extra 10% off of that. You need ivermectin, antibiotics, or methylene blue, you name it, they've got it. They make it simple. You fill out a short online form, a licensed doctor reviews it, and your meds ship fast right to your front door. If you want to be prepared and have your medications on hand, this is your new pharmacy. Visit allfamilypharmacy.com/Lindell. Promo code Lindell10 saves you even more. That's allfamilypharmacy.com/Lindell. Promo code Lindell10. With everybody talking about making America healthy again, I thought today'd be a great day to talk to all my fellow patriots about the importance of making your homes healthy again. Well, we have proudly partnered with airwaterhealing.com and their revolutionary whole home air purification system. The V3 from Airwater Healing does 3,000 square feet of purification. It eliminates dust, mold, viruses, and odors. But here's the part I love. They require no filters to ever be changed and virtually no maintenance. Whether you suffer from asthma, allergies, seasonal bronchitis, or just want to protect your family from the flu or even greater threats, don't wait to get your V3 from airwaterhealing.com today. Use code Lindell for 20% off in savings and free shipping. That's promo code Lindell at airwaterhealing.com. Whether it's being a weekend warrior or spending time with your family, feeling your best is the key to doing the things you love. That's why I'm excited to tell you about Nirvanta. It's a natural solution designed to help you stay active and live well naturally. Nirvanta is a topical blend of all natural essential oils like frankincense, myrrh, and a proprietary gold standard plant stock extract. It's perfect for your hands, feet, knees, back, or anywhere else that needs a little extra care. Use Nirvanta proactively as part of your daily maintenance routine, and you're guaranteed you're going to feel the difference. Simply massage Nirvanta in for at least 60 seconds, 2 to 3 times a day to get the best results. And if you're not completely satisfied, you get your money back. No questions asked. There's simply no risk and no reason not to try Nervanta today. Right now, you get 15% off with code Lindell exclusively at NervantaHealth.com. So stop reaching out for that medicine cabinet. Get Nervanta instead and experience the difference. Go to NervantaHealth.com. Use code Lindell to get 15% off today. Nervanta Health. Live well naturally. The last time President Trump was in office, gold soared 50% and silver went up a huge 53%. Americans who invested in silver and gold during Donald Trump's first presidency are very happy that they did it. And right now, gold continues to soar to the highest numbers in history. These gains are just an appetizer for what's to come. Some market analysis are saying that gold is predicted to rise another 30% in the next year alone. So now's the time to invest in gold and silver, and that's why I partnered with Fisher Liberty Gold. Fisher Liberty Gold is a conservative-owned and operated precious metals investment company. They even helped my good friend President Trump get elected through their contributions to Turning Point USA and other conservative groups. I have dedicated my life to ensuring that people get the best sleep ever. And in addition to owning a MyPillow, I can now sleep well at night knowing that you can all protect your savings with precious metals with Fisher Liberty Gold. With Fisher Liberty Gold, you can sleep well knowing that your retirement is secure. And if you call now, you're going to receive your very own presidential gold guide and qualify for up to $20,000 in free silver. But wait, there's more. Call now or text metals to 26786 to receive your presidential gold guide from Fisher Liberty. And for a limited time, I will send you a free MyPillow for qualified accounts. This presidential gold guide from Fisher Liberty will tell you exactly why you need to own gold even while Donald Trump is president. And just by calling in, you get a free MyPillow for a limited time for qualified accounts and up to $20,000 in free silver. So don't wait. Call 1-888-4GOLD-19 or text metals to 26786 today. That's 1-888-4GOLD-19 or text metals to 26786 today to receive your free MyPillow and up to $20,000 in free silver. Swollen limbs, joint pain, inflammation, skin aging, and cognitive decline. These are just a few of the awful side effects that you can experience due to poor blood circulation. And popping ibuprofen is not a solution to the pain. It's only temporary relief, and it's only masking the true problem, which is inflammation. Researchers are saying to add this Antarctic super nutrient to your diet. I'm talking about omega-3 fatty acids. But not just any form of omegas. These particular omega-3 fatty acids are sourced from wild-caught krill. Has been shown to support healthy blood pressure, circulation, brain health, as well as reduce inflammation, swelling, and joint pain. For a limited time, you can grab Native Path Antarctic Krill Oil for up to 66% off plus free shipping. Just go to getkrill.com/Lindell right now to get your special offer. Let's face it, you can't trust Big Pharma. They've already tried to block ivermectin, hydroxychloroquine, and raise prices on everything from antibiotics to your daily meds. Well, there's good news. All Family Pharmacy is standing up for medical freedom and helping people get the treatments they actually want. My family and I use them all the time. They made it easy and affordable without the runaround. While other pharmacies are jacking up prices, they've actually dropped theirs. Ivermectin now starts at just $2 a capsule. Use my promo code Lindell10, you get an extra 10% off of that. You need ivermectin, antibiotics, or methylene blue, you name it, they've got it. They make it simple. You fill out a short online form, a licensed doctor reviews it, and your meds ship fast right to your front door. If you want to be prepared and have your medications on hand, this is your new pharmacy. Visit allfamilypharmacy.com/Lindell. Promo code Lindell10 saves you even more. That's allfamilypharmacy.com/Lindell. Promo code Lindell10.
Hello? I'm on. Oh, hi. Welcome back to Lindell TV. I'm Brandon Weichert. Happy to have you here. Looks like Kara has been working the rope line outside of the White House, interviewing some very interesting people. I'm Brandon Weichert. You can follow me at We the Brandon on Twitter. Occasionally, I fill in for Emerald Robinson's show as well. As you saw from the previous segment with Kara, there is definitely a lot of talk going on in Washington, D.C. about the potential that the Trump will federalize the Washington, D.C. police. People are panicking. I would just say, don't panic. Washington, D.C. is a federal city. It wouldn't be that big of a deal if they did federalize it. Here's Kara Castronova now to take over.
Hey, Brandon, how are you? Yeah, I was talking to some people outside, as you saw, and from what I understand, and I know that you have a lot of expertise in this matter, DC is supposed to be federalized for the most part. And it was only recently that there was an appointed or a mayor, I guess Congress gave DC the right, quote unquote, to vote for their own mayor. And it doesn't seem like it's going so well. I mean, the statistics that were released today by the Trump administration was comparing the murder rate to certain third world countries. I live here in DC. I wouldn't say it's the safest place on the planet. They could definitely do much, much better. Thank God I live in Arlington, Virginia, on the borderline of DC. I really wouldn't want to live in the city of DC because of the crime. And sadly, the homelessness. It's very sad to see the homeless people on the streets here. It's very sad. So I just think that better could be done for this city. And like President Trump said, this is where, you bringing in leaders from around the world. They're coming in their motorcades. They're coming in with their entourage. They want to see a beautiful city. This represents the United States for the most part. What are your thoughts?
Well, as somebody who lived a long time and worked a long time in Washington, D.C., and my wife is from the area, I'm still up there quite frequently. You're talking about the Home Rule Act of 1973. That was when they allowed for the Washingtonians to basically get their own local government. And you're right, it's pretty much been a failure from the beginning. They keep voting for these horrible, corrupt people. I also previously lived in Chicago, and I would argue Washington, D.C. is infinitely more corrupt than Chicago will ever be. And I think it probably is even more violent now in terms of crime. You would know better now than I do, but in terms of crime, I would argue it's probably worse than even Chicago is per capita. And so, yeah, I think what the president is talking about doing, people need to remember Washington, D.C. is a federal city. You probably notice when you live there, Kara, you'll see sometimes Secret Service squad cars and uniformed Secret Service agents in what looks like a police uniform. They actually can and do perform the functions of many police officers. You would not see that happening in other cities in America because there's a distinction between federal and local. But in D.C., it's one and the same. So what the president's talking about doing is actually not that controversial.
I have a clip. I think really President Trump put it really good when he said that it's a very strong reflection of our country. If our capital is dirty, then our whole country is dirty. Like, obviously, the capital city of the United States is a reflection of the entire country. So, Brandon, please check out and then let me know your thoughts on this clip. If you guys could cue up clip number three that we have in the queue of President Trump talking about how important it is that our capital reflects our country.
It's a very, very strong reflection of our country. And when they see a bad city, my father always used to tell me, I had a wonderful father, very smart. And he used to say, son, when you walk into a restaurant and you see a dirty front door, don't go in. Because if the front door is dirty, the kitchen's dirty also. Same thing with the Capitol. If our Capitol's dirty, our whole country is dirty.
I like that analogy about the restaurants. I feel the same way. I thought that was a good analogy. What about you?
I think it's a good analogy. I do think it's a bit overstated. As I said, I no longer live in D.C. I now live in the Free People's Republic of Florida. And I got to tell you, most of Florida is pretty clean and well kept. Thank God for states' rights. But I do understand what he's saying. And if you go into pretty much anywhere there's Democrat control, Chicago, even Orlando or Miami, the cities are always dirtier than the rest of the outlying areas, which tend to be more conservative. Same thing true in Washington, D.C. Go to Warrenton, Virginia, or even parts of Arlington, Virginia. They may even be Democrat run, but ultimately they're cleaner and better kept. The problem here is Washington, D.C. is super corrupt. It has a very different way of governing than the rest of the country does. And frankly, the president does need to start really exercising more authority, because he's not wrong when he says, look, this is the city that the world visits first before going beyond. And as somebody who lived up there, I agree with him completely. I want my capital to be the shining city representing us to the world.
Right, of course. So, I mean, President Trump is, they say, the most powerful man in the world. Washington, D.C., then, therefore, somewhat has a big part in running the world. So we got to make sure that it's up to par. And there are certain parts of
Agreed.
D.C. that just aren't. Another interesting clip I have, if you guys could cue up that one of U.S. Attorney Jeanine Pirro, who was just here doing some interviews a little while ago, on how criminals are protected by Washington, D.C. leadership, really talking about how if you're 17 years old, and I don't know what your thoughts on this are when it comes to juvenile crime, that these 17 and 16-year-olds could assault, beat up people, even kill people, and wind up going to these juvenile delinquent centers where she said they are doing yoga and arts and crafts. We'll talk about it, but please take a listen to Jeanine Pirro.
Here's the problem. Assuming that they're 17 years, older than 17 years old, I can get the case. If they're under 18 years of age, I can only get the case if it's murder, rob one, rape, or even if they shoot a gun but don't kill you, I can't get it. So the law has to be changed. As the president said, cashless bail. That has to be changed. All right, then even assuming I get the case, I get jurisdiction, I get a conviction, the D.C. Council has given the judges the ability to give probation on shootings. And so then it's up to them. All of these things, the Youth Rehabilitation Incarceration Reduction Act, and now they want to seal records. So if we work hard, we get a conviction, they want to wipe it out. So that needs all to be changed. Okay,
Yeah, so she's pretty good, I gotta say, but I don't know what your thoughts are. I do believe that when you're young and you're a kid, you should be given a chance. I don't know if you should be tried as an adult or treated as an adult or put in an adult penitentiary. What are your thoughts?
Well, I think there's always the danger of abuse. We know for a fact the penal system in this country is very broken. We have for-profit prisons who have an economic incentive to basically incarcerate as many people as possible so they can get paid. So we do need to worry about, people being wrongly imprisoned or having the book thrown at them when they shouldn't. We saw this with President Trump. He was the subject of multiple lawfare attempts in which prosecutors were abusing their power to go after the president simply because they wanted to prevent him from running for re-election again. Thankfully, it didn't work. But I think you're right to be concerned. Ultimately, though, just to kind of keep it specific to D.C., there is so much crime and so much violent crime taking place in D.C., and the local authorities refuse to enforce basic laws. When you do that over time, what you do is you actually encourage criminality. The reason we have laws is actually as a deterrent. It's actually to deter most of the possible criminals who are basically cowards and don't want to have to pay the time for the crime. That's why we have laws and we do enforcement of the laws. It's a psychological thing as much as it is a legal thing. But by not enforcing the laws consistently and effectively enough, as the DC local police and local authorities don't do, they actually create the environment of being pro-criminal and anti-American citizen. And as an aside, I think Jeanine Pirro was an inspired pick for that DA or that prosecutor role. I know it's a step down financially for her from what she was doing on Fox, but she is perfect and she's brilliant, and I hope she keeps doing what she's doing.
No, I agree. And I think she's absolutely adorable. Like, it's so funny because Trump was at the podium and that podium actually comes up and down mechanically. And she was basically wearing heels, and it was her head was barely fitting over. She's a tiny, tiny woman, but very powerful.
She's tough.
Very powerful, very
though.
brilliant, very tough. But it's nice to see other small women, because I'm pretty short myself, in such powerful positions. And she's really a powerful woman, I think. Let's switch gears to Russia. Actually, the last thing I wanted to ask you, this is the question I actually had for President Trump, if I was able to get his attention today. He didn't take many questions, but what I want to know is the sanctuary city status. Now, I don't know if you know anything about this, but if they federalize DC eventually, can they remove sanctuary city status from DC?
I would assume so. I'm actually surprised that Homan and ICE haven't just kind of focused on DC, since it's sort of the low-hanging fruit. It's already a federal city. Therefore, you wouldn't have to do much to enforce the Trump administration's harsher tone on illegal immigration. But yes, they should already have done this. But yes, they could do that. Absolutely.
Yeah, that was something I wanted to really kind of put out there, because it's doable, obviously.
But I want to also make something
you,
very clear. Let me just ask something really quickly. People are freaking out in the sort of civil rights, civil libertarian side, saying, well, if the president can do this in DC, then the Democrat who becomes president one day can do it to Republican cities. That's actually not true. You can't federalize other cities like LA or Orlando or Atlanta. It's only because DC is the federal capital. There are special rules that allow for the White House to do something like this, allow for Congress to do something like this. You can't apply it. So for those people who are worried that eventually a Democrat will take over and try to do the same thing to a Republican city, they may try it, but legally speaking, my understanding is they cannot do it at least as easily as they can do it to DC. So just keep that in mind also.
Well, it would be pretty much impossible from what I looked into, because I did have a similar concern, obviously. I always think about when the power pendulum swings, but DC's the federal government only recently, like you mentioned, Muriel Bowser and a mayor was allowed to run the city of DC. Really, the Constitution, from what I understand, gives the powers to run DC to Congress.
Absolutely.
So it's not even, it's completely different than any other liberal city. And, so just, again, to reassure people that that's absolutely true, because that is a concern that did cross my mind. I know that you're looking forward, just like so many other people, to this trip President Trump is taking this Friday to Alaska. We haven't yet found out exactly what city this summit will take place with Putin. Do you have any thoughts on to where this very mysterious meeting with Putin will be in Alaska?
I do, actually, and it's a place many people have never heard of. I think because he slipped, today and said the president did that we're going to meet in Russia. That's because I think he's going to meet on the Diomede Islands. And those islands, there's Little and Big Diomede Island, and they're literally in the middle of the Bering Strait, the waterway separating East Russia from Alaska. The Russians control one side of the island and we control the other. There's a Russian intelligence gathering facility on their side. They listen in. We do the same on our side, going back to the Cold War. I think maybe, just maybe, that's where they're going to meet, which is why Trump said he's meeting in Russia, because technically it's the one little part of Alaska that Russia still holds. Or it could be where the oldest Russian Orthodox church is in the Western Hemisphere. I think it's near Wrangel Island in Alaska, and technically the Eastern Orthodox Church still controls that plot of land. It was the one aspect of Alaska that was not sold. It's a little plot of land. It's a beautiful church. So it's one of those two places, maybe, I think.
Right. So that's interesting. I didn't know about that island. I would love to be on Air Force One and get to go there. We were hoping to get to go on that Alaska trip. The White House yet hasn't released information. So I'm leaning towards it might be in a place that's not as accessible as like Anchorage, say, but who knows? I could be wrong. But that's on Friday. Do you think anything will come out? Like, what's going to come out of this? Do you think that Putin's ready for a ceasefire? Is he ready to sign a deal with President Trump? Will we finally get peace in that region?
Well, I think the thing to remember is, unfortunately, the West, the United States, Europe, NATO, we have so badly played our hand in Ukraine since Biden started the war in 2022. We basically don't have much leverage. Trump knows that fundamentally. He doesn't want to admit it, understandably. He's trying to seek ways to get leverage on Putin so he can come in with a stronger negotiating hand. But everything we've tried thus far has not worked, because ultimately the facts on the ground, which is the key point here, the facts on the ground in Ukraine now fundamentally favor Russia. So the Russians are coming in with an advantage. Trump said today at the press conference that he'll know, quote, in the first 2 minutes if he's going to get a deal. Well, I wouldn't be so fast to judgment. The Russians are very, very tough negotiators. They're very shrewd. They have what's known as the suka mentality, which is basically the all or nothing mentality. They don't really believe in win-win the way American negotiators do. They believe in win or lose. So it's a zero-sum thinking you're dealing with. I would just add, Putin wants to do business with Trump and the Americans. He wants to restore trading relations with the West. And he wants to be part of, he sees Russia basically as a middle ground actor, not on one side or the other, as a truly independent power. And that is everything in his ideology that he's worked to do, is to make Russia into a self-sustaining power. So if Trump goes in and is not too braggadocious or too blustery, I think we could probably get a deal on Ukraine that we can then leverage to get better trading deals, better rare earth mineral development deals with the Russians. And that's the key thing here, is we've got to flip the geopolitical chessboard so that Russia's not playing with China so nicely and they're playing with us on a better footing. And the only way we're going to do that is if we get a deal out of Alaska.
Yeah, so we're looking forward to that. That's the big news for Friday. Do you think that the meeting would be open to the press, or do you think it's going to be behind closed doors? Do you think there'll be a press conference? A lot of people are asking that question. Will there be an open press conference, or is this more of sort of a secretive, very serious meeting that's closed door?
Well, it might be half and half. They're usually in previous Putin summits, Helsinki, or the one with Biden in Switzerland, I believe, right before the war began. They had sort of a public-facing side of the meeting, but then a lot of the heavy, negotiations and talks were done behind closed doors, and there was a readout release thereafter. I think it'll probably be something like that. But then again, if it is on those Diomede or Diomede Islands, I don't know how big of an entourage either side will have in terms of press. So that's sort of the big question now. But I do believe there will be readouts and a public component, whether before or after, I don't know. But I think it will happen.
Okay, great. Yeah, so that's the news, I guess, this week. Trump's big visit to Alaska. And what's so exciting is he's going to still be here this week. It's a very quick trip, and we're in the press pool on Thursday, Lindell TV. So hopefully we could, right before the president takes off, get some really good questions in with the president about what his intentions are there in Russia. Why do you think, even today, when President Trump was speaking to reporters in the briefing room, he likes to sort of insult Zelensky more than he does Putin? Although he'll say nasty things about Putin here and there, it's like he's more irritated by Zelensky, which is interesting. Why do you think that is?
Well, Zelensky is not a good actor. He's not an honest actor in this. Trump knows exactly who and what Zelensky is. First of all, Zelensky is not really in control of anything. He is a hostage himself to what's known as the Banderites. These are neo-Nazi groups in Ukraine that have a lot of power and influence. And they're not going to let Zelensky negotiate easily or at all, because they want the war to continue. So Zelensky has, for the last several months, been trying to create a golden parachute, for several years, I should say, creating a golden parachute for himself and his family, taking our money that we send to Ukraine and basically buying real estate all over the world so that when the hammer eventually falls on his regime, he can flee to safety. So Trump knows Zelensky's corrupt. Trump knows Zelensky can't be trusted, that Zelensky will try to nuke whatever deal that he crafts with Russia. So that's why he's being so tough. And also remember, this is an old negotiating tactic in and of itself. During World War II, when you had FDR, Churchill, and Stalin, FDR did this thing where he would insult Churchill more, even though he was closer with Churchill than Stalin. It was to try to ingratiate himself with Stalin to get better relations with Russia. So there's something similar, I think, at play here between Trump, Putin, and Zelensky.
Right. Last question. We have 2 minutes. So quick answer. I was going to ask President Trump this question, but I'll ask you instead. I was going to say, President Trump, regarding your Alaska trip, after you succeed in negotiating permanent peace between Russia and Ukraine, will Biden and his family's business dealings in Ukraine finally be fully investigated with the same intensity that Democrats investigated you? Your thoughts?
Well, I think they should be, but unfortunately, I'm very skeptical that they will be. Obviously, you mentioned in your interviews with those people outside the White House, the Epstein files. I think that's a huge issue. Trump doesn't want to talk about it for whatever reason. So I don't think he's going to go too hard, unfortunately, after Biden.
All right. Well, hopefully, you're wrong, even though I think you're right generally. But I am hoping Biden never got pardoned, obviously, and neither did a lot of the people that were probably colluding with and obstructing justice and in on that deal. His family members might have been pardoned, like Hunter Biden, and and his brothers and his brothers' wives, I believe. Crazy stuff. But from what I understand, there has to be a lot more people that had to know what was going on with all these corrupt business dealings in the Ukraine, and it would be great, I think, to expose that. The only time I really feel like it's important to make the government bigger is we got to get more special counsel and more investigators on these things because, Trump has the presidency for 3.5 more years. And we have the House maybe only for another year. So we have to get these investigations going or they'll just get buried in history. Right. Less than that. So it is what it is. But I am hoping that the Biden crime family does get investigated for their alleged criminal dealings in Ukraine. When all is said and done, when maybe, there's this permanent ceasefire, maybe Zelensky will, all of a sudden start talking. He'll get desperate from wherever he's hiding, like you said. So thank you so much, Brandon, for joining me today. Where can people follow you?
At We the Brandon on Twitter and Truth Social, same handle.
Okay. Thank you so much. Everybody follow Lindell TV and follow me at Cara Castronova. And I will see you later today on Vanessa's show on Lindell TV. Stay tuned next for Mike Lindell.